Yeah, hundreds.
Welcome to another show,
Yes, sir.
BMX. We have a special guest here,
Yeah.
KG. How have you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Been great. Health is good, Been hustling this whole time, grinding, trying to secure the bag. And yeah, man, I just came here to see you niggas, just catch up and talk about stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've chilled.
Yeah. How you
Yeah.
guys doing? How you guys doing?
Welcome,
How you
man.
guys doing,
We
man?
we great. I guess we have two billionaires on the show today. We have billionaire Brian over here,
Yes, sir.
and while you are on your way to being a billionaire,
making,
the next
yeah.
billionaire, billionaire in the
Mark this
making.
date and time.
Yes, sir.
I'm the next billionaire.
Preach. Good to
Okay,
have
see,
you.
That's good to hear, man. It's always nice to have you. So we hope we're gonna have a lot of fun with you here, man.
Definitely.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
So I heard that you had something for us just to get started on the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, man. I would say it's been great this whole time, and yeah, I've been doing some reading this whole time. I think thank God for the pandemic. I had a lot of time to do some reading, self introspection, and learn about stuff. And one of the things is like I learned about the economy, finance,
Yeah.
and along those lines. And right now, what kept me busy is actually I've been reading, and I'm right now I'm just waiting for the crash to happen. And if you ask me and say, hey man, what are you talking about when you're saying the crash? I'm talking about the market crash. People who are in finance, economy will understand that. Oh, it's talking about the US market and global market actually. When I'm talking about the market crash, not only specifically in the US but globally. And I think we're gonna actually see something that is worse than the pandemic crash. You know what happened on, I think it was around 23rd of March 2020, where literally the market S&P 500 went down by like 50%.
Yeah.
So this time it's going to be even like worse, right?
So you're saying we're taking it back to what's it called, the global depression?
We are approaching that stage,
Mm.
right? Global 1929.
Yeah. Was it the
we
Great Depression actually?
Great Depression.
Yeah.
the Great Depression, and it's going to be even worse than 2008. The
That was
financial
the
crash.
housing where
Yeah.
the housing was impacted a great deal, right?
The financial crash, where actually the US banks were lending out money that they can't even afford or they
Yeah.
don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
their
remember that
reserves,
that scandal, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you have a bank where it only have maybe $1 billion in their reserves, right? But they actually lend out, provide credit of maybe more than like 5 billion.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that actually adds towards the bubble until it actually crashed. So 2008 housing market crash was part of that kind of financial crash.
I'm glad you actually took it that direction, right? Because it makes me actually think of this series I've had some time to watch. I think it was last year. Actually, I was late on the train actually, which was Money Heist. And they touched base on some of the things that you're actually speaking about. And what always is curious to me is why is it that we are in control of the money, as in how much we print and how much is there digitally, but yet there's still a time where people will say we don't have enough money.
Yeah.
It's not like a natural resource. If you talk about there's no reserves of oil or diamonds, I can understand. It has depleted in the soil, in the land. There's no more. But when it comes to money, you're in control over how much you print. So if people saying that there's not enough money, why don't you just print more money?
So I think
I wish it were that easy, eh?
I know,
All
but
of
like,
us would be rich, but
yeah.
obviously, like there has to be a balance between supply and demand. One, and I think also just not to take the spot away from KG because I think he wants to actually tackle your question. But yeah, I mean, like that's everyone's wish, eh? That there was money for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you are right. You are right. Supply and demand, and we don't want to lead to inflation and end up actually going the route of what's happening to Zimbabwe. Because right now in Zimbabwe they have like a $10 million Zimbabwean dollar. You know, one note,
one note,
like
yeah.
10 million. So that itself is actually, they call it stagflation, right? Where you just print money, and thinking that actually, when it's like, for example, right? It's like when you say supply and demand, and you just, in terms of, let's say housing, right? If you just add more and more inventory into housing and just have a lot of housing, and that's what's happening with Japan right now, right? Where in Japan there's actually a house that is worth like $500 US dollars, because there's just more housing in there and no one is occupying the housing, right? So inflation can actually happen in different ways, and in Zimbabwe they just printed more money, but that money is actually not circulating in the economy. You know, it's just there in the economy.
Right.
And if you flood the economy with more money, it's gonna cause a lot of inflation. And that's what's happening in the States right now. They're just printing more and more money. And this is happening because the States actually removed the dollar. The dollar was backed by gold before 1971. Right? Which means that if it's backed by gold, when I have the $1 US, I can exchange it for gold, right? A certain ounce of gold. But right now, it's not backed by anything. That's why they have the freedom to print whatever money they want. And the good thing about them is that, well, for now, is that it's a world currency, right? Until when now China and Russia start taking over and be like China having their own. They actually have their own cryptocurrency right now. Yeah, and something. That's why in China right now, they're banning Bitcoin because they're trying to push their
own currency.
Their own digital currency, right? So when they're starting to actually have more power and world power, now the US and the US dollar is no
Lose
longer
value.
the world. You get what I'm saying? It's no longer the world currency.
Yeah.
Right? Now China is going to take over. Now this way, now the dollar is going to go to trash.
But again, with your point of inflation, right? You said, yeah, it will cause an issue on inflation. But again, inflation is what? It's something that we created. Inflation did not exist prior to, human civilization. So I don't know if there's like some type of...
But there's always been a medium of exchange.
There's been a medium of exchange, yes, but inflation is something that came at the time that we've developed the currency, and even later on during the actual, I would say, growth and not just birth of currency becoming a monetary currency and not a currency of trading cattle for fruits or vegetables and stuff like that, but when it was actually a form of a note or a coin. Yeah. So if you're talking about dollar backing, gold backing, that's consistent.
Yes.
And that's why someone once said, in future, let's start trading in gold. That way, if one country needs to buy a certain amount of goods, it should be quoted in gold, bullion. They exchange gold for gold.
But you know what's the problem? If we make it like that, that means the US won't have power anymore.
That's the point.
Because they don't have more gold reserves.
That's the point. Because it's going to be a fair balance. Because look at this. Yes. There's some countries like, let's say South Africa is one. We might have more gold reserves than other people, right? Just based on what's in the soil. And I'm not talking about at this moment, just generally speaking, based on obviously our the richness of our soil, right? Then you have other countries that may not be that fortunate, but they may have crude, or they may have something else. So in order for us to get to purchase whatever they're offering, we would have to exchange the gold for whatever goods or services they're rendering. So yes, at that point of initiation, they will not be able to fork out a certain amount of gold bullion based on what they actually have to offer. But as soon as they start trading, they're able to then grow their reserves. So now if you're going to talk about just being the market that is dominating, being the US dollar, it's a global currency that is accepted worldwide, then it is not really, as you say now, backed by anything else besides its currency in itself. So
Yes.
if now you have to trade in gold bullion, it would put them at a disadvantage, but give everyone else an equal opportunity to balance out the scale. And that's my concern, is that why is it seeming to be that there's an imbalance no matter how things shift? Because here we have one of the countries, it's the richest countries in terms of natural resources, but yet we can't compete with some of these other countries, like you mentioned, China, Russia, America, and some of the other first world countries. One of the reasons why is because our economy is not developed in the sense that theirs are. So we're not able to compete and we're not able to maintain. We have to have backing from other countries to actually develop our own country. Yet we have all these resources at our disposal. I know there's other
But
dynamics
remember,
to it, right?
like also in terms of, yes, you mentioning about the resources, but let's also not forget, prior to democracy, the resources, there were resources in the country. However, those resources were carted out of the country as well, some of them, right? So, and I understand what you're saying in terms of development.
I knew it's
But,
gonna go this way.
No, but I'm just saying, like, we still, you
No,
know,
it's reality.
it's
You are right.
reality.
It's reality.
You
You can't
understand?
run away from
and
that. Yeah.
and even today, I think like you'll probably find that South Africa is trying to get those resources back.
Yeah.
But also, guys, just before I allow you in, KG, but also possessing resources doesn't mean that you know how to extract value out of those resources, right? So you can possess a resource and not know how to extract value from it. So maybe that's why there will always be an imbalance, right?
Yeah.
So those disparities
Oh, yeah.
come from actually, because I mean, think about it this way: like you could be sitting with an ounce of gold and
Yeah.
not understanding what it means.
The value of it. True.
And that's why capitalism, free market is important. Because if we just give the government all our resources and think that they're actually going to extract value from it, it's going to take them, I don't know, decades and decades
Exactly.
to
Yes.
really. But if it's a free market,
Yeah.
right? Capitalism, where, listen, it's a free market. You have the resources, then you can create whatever. That's why we have your Apple right now, your Facebook, your Google, your Tesla, and all those big brands, right? Because it's capitalism. If it was actually socialism, where everything
Is owned by the state.
owned by the state,
Yeah.
everything is actually created and managed by the state, by now I don't know South Africa will be where exactly.
Did you see the? Did you see the?
I don't know.
Did you see? Was it this week?
Exactly.
Was it this week in KZN where on this plot where
Diamonds, yeah.
where they said they found diamonds? And I was actually listening to one professor, and he says like if you living on a property and it has diamonds or other resources, and you don't have
Permits.
a permit,
Yeah. Mining
it belongs to
Also,
it belongs to
just-
the state.
Let's actually just drill, let's drill deep in that story, right?
Yeah.
I'm going back to my earlier point about having a resource, right, and not knowing what to do with the resource,
Yeah.
or not understanding the
Intrinsic value.
intrinsic value, right? Thank
Yeah.
you, say that was the word I was looking
You're
for.
welcome.
So
No, he has a dictionary open there.
Making
I'm
sure.
the working
Yeah, making sure. So he's the Jamie. He's our Jamie for, Joe Rogan has Jamie.
Yeah.
So he's our
So
Jamie.
okay, Jamie. Okay, Jamie. I was actually thinking about the other guy on
Jamie
Ellen,
Fox.
on Ellen DeGeneres show. So I was thinking about that other dude. But we'll go and find out more about
Yeah.
him. So yeah, going back to my point. So here's the thing, right? If that guy had actually dug a pile of money, right? Let's say in the regions of billions, do you think he would have made a stream of invites that, hey, look what I found?
No,
He wouldn't have, right?
he wouldn't have, because
Because
he
he
knows it's
understands the
money. He
value of
understands the
money,
value
right?
of money. Yeah, but now because
But
of
now, well, it's well, let's call it alleged because I don't know the story. I'll call it alleged. Well, at this moment, we don't know if it's real diamonds
Or
or
quartz.
or crystals or anything,
so,
right?
So I think,
But
yeah,
the guy went and discovered something, right? There's no proper diligence done, right? Already, he has declared himself wealthy.
yeah. So I have
But
this
that's
other-
value. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
value,
yeah.
by the way. So when you just going back to that point, so you said if you were to dig up cash, you wouldn't make noise about it, right? Because you understand the value.
Yeah, you know the value.
So now, if you saying that, like going back to the point that where everything is owned by the the government and or by the government, and why is things not fair or why is this happening this way? It's because we don't understand.
That's a valid
Value.
point.
The
That's a
same.
Yeah,
valid point.
yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
Because
That's
if
a
it
valid
was
point.
someone who understand value, he was not gonna be like going all over and say, "Guys, I found diamond," and you get what I'm saying. He was really gonna say, "Okay, I found diamond, and I'm now gonna plan on how to actually sell it,
Mm.
right?"
Mm.
And it's going to be hard for him to sell it because
I want you to get to
the
that
big
point.
guys, the big companies
Yeah.
won't allow someone who just come from the street and be like, "Yo, I have diamond, I wanna sell it."
Yeah.
They wanna call the police, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But if
Because
it's a
they
company-
want that, they have the permit
exactly
to get those diamonds. So
Maybe not, but they know how to get the permit after the fact because they may
Yeah,
not have that
it
permit
could be.
prior
Yes,
to. Yeah.
yes.
But now also with the guy, just to add on to that, the guy, so he digs and here's diamonds. He finds diamonds. He doesn't know what to do with it, right? As you've mentioned. The other problem is to get a permit. It probably takes years, firstly, and then it costs like 250,000. Where's he gonna get 250,000 if he wants to go legit? And you mentioned, so he's caught between a rock and a hard place because now
I
he
thought you were
goes to
gonna
this-
say with his pants
You
down.
see
I'm
now,
glad you
I
didn't
like
say that.
I like exactly what you're bringing.
So now,
up.
yeah. So now he goes
I like
to
what you're bringing
he
up,
goes to the
but it's gonna
legit
move us a
people.
little bit away from the topic. So I'll allow you, but it's fine.
yeah. Go ahead.
So he goes to the legit people, and the legit people sees, no, there's really money in this.
yeah.
We have, you said like the permits, or we have the connections. We have people in the right places.
Mm.
Let's reach out to them, and then you know what they do. You'll find out that they'll come to this person and they'll say to him, "Okay, you have diamonds." And you just brought up, you just mentioned about the value. So they'll tell him, okay, we'll pay you out R1 million.
Not even.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
just a
he's
figure I'm
just
using
Yeah.
throwing
because
it.
he's
Well,
never
you
seen.
yeah.
They've never seen R1 million.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So he
Yes.
thinks like, with R1 million, I can do this, that, and the other, not knowing that those diamonds, if they are real diamonds, it costs like billions.
Valuation is a
Yeah.
real challenge
So
to
y-
people.
Here's the thing, right? And Brian's point is very important, right? And I agree with it, and I also don't agree with it. And here why I'm saying I don't agree with it. Everything else that you said, I agreed with, right? In terms of people not maybe understanding the true value of it. Because remember, there's different diamonds. So you'll have your colored diamonds and you have your clear diamonds and all those type of stuff. I don't want to get deep into that,
Leave the
right?
technical extremities.
Yeah, no, I don't want to get. I'm just saying we're just gonna speak about it overall, right? There's those things. Then you have your alluvial diamonds, and then you have the ones that you find, which are more the ones that you find more on that's kind of closer to water. They usually rise up to the surface and they involve. So those would be more clearer than the ones that they have to dig for, right? So those things, there may be discrepancies there when it comes to the value of those diamonds. But overall, a real diamond, let's hypothetically speak that this is a real diamond, we know that it should be valuable. And they said it would be the 3rd or 6th biggest diamond that was found or something. Or was that something?
No,
a different
that's
article?
another
That's not-
story.
Different,
Oh,
yeah.
That's
okay.
a different
we
story.
arrived to the point where you agree with me or disagree with me.
I'm coming.
Oh, okay.
So, why I'm saying I disagree, right, is that people understand that diamonds are valuable. Almost everybody knows that diamonds are valuable. Just in terms of the exact amount, maybe that's where I was coming. There's a discrepancy. But now here's the issue with that. When you start trading with a diamond, they ask you to present things like your Kimberley license or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. License and certificates and just a lot of paperwork.
Exactly. Besides the rights for digging at that property.
Yeah.
Yet alone that you just found a diamond that surfaced up on your property, you now want to sell the diamond. You can't. You have
Yeah.
to present that Kimberley certification to confirm that this is a legitimate thing and it's not a blood diamond or anything of that sort. So now it puts you at a disadvantage because it has no value unless you sell it to
On the
on the
black
black
market.
market. But
So
legitimately,
that is why the black market is also, let me say,
No, it doesn't lose value. The value is there. You just don't have the necessary options to further or to advance your notion.
in your hand, it has no value.
because
You cannot
it's
trade.
basically,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
It
you
holds
won't
its
know
value.
that you won't know that you might think that you have
So,
value, but someone by let's say someone that knows about diamonds and the industry, they'll come to you and they'll tell you like, look, if you don't have this, that, and the other,
Wait.
you don't have, you can't
X-
do anything with it.
X and
So
Maurice-
is that your point?
Yes.
Then you don't.
You can't, yeah.
X and Maurice, that's all agreed. My thing is you said everyone understands value, right?
Mhm.
And the value of diamonds. You went so far as to be specific. Now, tell me, and I've asked you a question, if you understand value and you understand it the right way, would you scream and say, I have 75 million in cash in my car?
You wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't. So then why would you scream when you've discovered diamonds? Because ultimately you are putting yourself at risk. Someone could, especially if you don't have security, hey, that's why these people that possess these things have security. They
Yeah,
understand that
yeah.
value. So knowing something and having something and knowing what to do with something doesn't mean you understand its true value. Because by you going out there on all these social media streams, you've made yourself a target for what is known to be of value, because people will find you and they will snatch that thing. I can see you've been robbed your whole life.
But now, what about those people that is went out and bought 5 cars in a day? That is held money like it's a cell phone on their ears. That is opened up money on a briefcase and showed people how much money they have as well.
If you're talking about those rappers have
No, I'm not only
securities.
talking about rappers.
And we can tell you stories
Yeah.
about them also losing their lives because of that.
Correct.
so-
There's so many, by the way,
Yeah,
where they lost their lives because they were just all over the place and
Um,
showing off.
Yes.
But they understood that it's valuable.
Yeah, we all know that, yes, money, yes, is valuable, and whatever possessions that they have, right,
Yeah.
is valuable. But they were lacking, financial, really,
And that's a different topic.
yeah, itself. You get what I'm saying? So-
it ties in well with everything that you said, KG.
But listen, don't you find it a bit like really odd and disturbing that if I buy land,
mm-hmm.
it's my land, right? In the constitution, it belongs to me, right? I buy land, I have ownership on this land. I discover diamond on my land. It's fenced, like maybe, I don't know, I have 10 hectares on my land. And somehow the government actually discovered that I have gold on my land. Why now they want to make it their own property?
Yeah.
Why now they wanna be like, oh, you have land, okay, we're gonna come and you have diamonds, sorry,
Yeah.
on your land. Oh, we're gonna come and pay you a visit. Why?
see-
I really don't understand, because if I bought land, right, everything on that land belongs to me.
Should be. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I'm the owner. If
Well,
I
on that land, that's a
on
key.
that land.
That's a key one. On
that land,
Yeah.
right? If I
Not
discover
in.
whatever
Yeah.
on that
exactly.
land, it's mine.
No, but you see, that's the key. On,
say on.
not in.
No, but everything on or in, it doesn't matter as long as it is within my fence.
That's why they
Belongs
say.
to
It's
me.
within his vicinity.
Yeah.
No, that's a different
You know how
statement.
do they do it? They probably look, with land, they look at, you bought this piece
Can
of
I-
land,
Yeah.
but in terms of depth or whatever, you can't own that.
Exactly.
Ah.
This is
Wait,
wait,
That's
wait,
what
wait.
I have
wait.
something to do.
This is what they
I
say.
find this very disturbing, because it doesn't matter. Even if I dig a borehole or whatever, I do whatever. It's my land. I can do
I
whatever
agree
I
with you.
want.
I agree with you. Just what they say is that, just to add to this, sorry, is that they're saying that everything on the surface belongs to you.
Okay.
Anything beyond that belongs to the state, somehow to the state.
Yeah. That is wrong.
I agree.
So-
Yeah,
I agree.
No, it's wrong and
is
it's
wrong.
not
Yeah.
So
right.
listen, right? Let me make a proclamation. It's
Make a
actually-
proclamation.
It's not a proclamation. Let me just
Ah,
proclaim-
now I have to retract my statement. Don't make the proclamation. then.
do you remember when I always tell you boys that get a lawyer, right? Listen, when you want to be a wealthy person in life, you need to understand that you're going to need also people that will help you in other things that you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be a hero in everything. You want to be the lawyer, you want to be the doctor, you want to be everything. No, delegate.
That is a good point you're
Delegate.
making.
So when you
Yeah.
get lawyers,
Mm.
right? Are you taking notes, son?
Wait, where's my pen
No,
and
that is a
paper?
When you
point.
get lawyers, people advise you differently because
Yeah.
they know these regulations, they know these laws, they study them for living, right? Now, I want you to go and do a read up on this one because it's quite controversial, right? Bill Cosby has a mansion somewhere, right? Where beneath that
It's
mansion,
oil or something, right?
There is
I know the story.
something of precious
Yeah,
nature,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But Bill Cosby refuses to move or to sell that mansion because they want him to move or
Yeah.
to be
So that they can whatever.
extrapolated.
Yeah, yeah.
So they can actually gain access to, right? But it's not happening. So why do you think that's not happened yet?
That's a different story.
There's a law or
No.
there's something that someone knows, right?
Yes.
That favors Bill Cosby. So he's holding the cards.
He is holding the cards, but he's not using the cards. He cannot. By law, he cannot. Because if it was the case, he would just dig, get his oil supply, whatever is there,
Yeah.
and sell it.
You know what
But
he's
sell
actually
it to
doing,
who?
right?
Sell it on the black market.
No,
because-
they
isn't
won't
it?
even allow him to even dig that oil.
Exactly.
That's one thing you must know.
We can-
They won't allow him.
Exactly. Because how long does
You
he
know
have that
what?
property?
You know what they want? They want to give him money
To
right,
move.
for him to move.
Yes.
But he's actually refusing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
That's the bad part. But him now starting and maybe getting, I don't know, people who dig oil and all those kind of stuff, they won't allow him. Because they want to
Exactly.
say, do you have a license?
Yes.
Exactly.
And when he's trying to
Yeah.
get a license,
they're
they
gonna
won't
block
give
him. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're gonna
So,
block him, and even here with us as well.
It's the same.
Where
It's
the
the same.
point is coming back earlier on, whatever that the government controls, whatever resources, whatever, if you put everything in the government's hands, we're gonna take decades to develop. Decades and decades and decades.
And then you'll find out, even if you put it in there in government's hands and they're trying to develop it, it's not gonna be. They won't use it for
It's full
the economy.
potential.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey,
They're gonna
that's
use
another
it for
topic.
no. It's gonna be used for
other things.
other things or individuals.
Yeah.
So why can't you benefit as an individual who's the
Yeah.
rightful owner of it? You get
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
That's why I'm an advocate for capitalism, free market, and to other
You've
people.
announced yourself.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, like, I believe in it because whatever that we have in right now, whatever tools we have, assets we have, technology, the way that is advancing each and every day, is because of the free market,
Yeah.
not because of the government.
And
You know
even
what
if
I'm
you look
saying?
at software, right, you have these
like money in
companies that
wrong hands in
that
government.
offers open source type of softwares that actually enables other creatives to develop on their platforms. And that will allow people to expand what has been started, because sometimes people have a brilliant idea and that
Yeah.
idea may not have been may not actually stand the test of time for like hundreds of years. It's brilliant for that period of like 10-20 years. Now someone else comes and they add something to it. So if it's open source, they are either able to add more value so that the next generation can capitalize from it as well and continue going like that. Whereas if it's a closed, sometimes with these closed softwares, you obviously have that company or the institution that will control how the direction that it goes, and it may not be to its full potential, like we're saying. That's just a
Yeah, so I want to bring something. A
Bring
segue.
something.
It's a nice segue.
segue.
So a lot of people hate billionaires nowadays because, well, not really nowadays, but now it's even worse because during the pandemic, they actually made more billions
Yeah.
than before.
Yeah.
And people hate it.
Dude.
I'm like, dude, why are you hating? If someone found a way,
Seems like here's another hater.
No, I've been calculating what's in the wallet, and I'm like, dude, how in
yeah.
the world?
So you ask yourself, why are you hating on someone who found a way to actually make money during the pandemic? Why? I'm one of those people. I made more money during the pandemic.
Oh
right?
wow.
So
Billionaire.
so
Girls in the streets.
so you have billionaires, you have your Jeff Bezos, your Elon Musk, your Bill Gates, and all those people, right? Who made more money during the pandemic, right? And people are hating. No, these guys, they don't deserve it. Now people don't have money, this and this and that. Guys, if you are living in a free market, right, and if you believe in that everyone has the right to find a way to actually maximize their own profit and make more money, right? Not that when someone makes money and you think they actually by default they should share it with everyone.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No, it
That's
doesn't.
socialism. That's what the Soviet Union used to do in Venezuela. Where whatever, no, literally you must go to YouTube. Literally in Venezuela, right? The president and his own people, he literally went on the streets, right, door by door, and say, well, this restaurant belongs to the government. I'm telling you, go research, it belongs to the government.
It
We
reminds
own
me
it.
of Big Dada.
Now they say they share wealth, they share everything, and that's when the problem comes. When you start sharing wealth that you don't even deserve, you didn't even put in the work. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sorry, KG. I always say, in order for you to grow something, you need to know what it took to build that something, right? You can't just grow something. So what tends to happen is people just want to dip their hand in someone's pie.
Yes.
Right?
Without putting any work,
No
no
work,
effort,
no
nothing.
nothing.
But they want to share.
Yeah.
And you see, that mentality is the mentality that actually stops innovation.
Ish. And it's painful, dude.
Yes.
It kills innovation.
Yeah. So, and when you're saying that, right? We're not saying billionaires have to be like monopolies. Their companies have to be like monopolies everywhere, because that's what Amazon is in the States. They crush everyone and they want to own everything, right? We still need some regulations so that at least on this playground it's fair. We have rules and all that. Because if you didn't have rules, then your Amazon and all those guys were going to take over
The
And-
world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take over the world. And the small guy, the mom and pops
Stores.
stores who are selling this sweets and all that, small businesses
Would cease
will
to
be
exist.
crushed.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So we still need those regulations, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that what I own, I have to share with everyone.
And
You know?
check, you know what, KG? I'm actually glad that you started mentioning the big giants, right? Now, speaking about valuation, because I'm going to drill deep into this now. Here's the
deep,
thing. If you look at these guys, all these guys, your Carnegies, your JP Morgans, right?
Rockefeller.
Like these guys didn't just get to where they are right now, right? They started somewhere, right? And when you start somewhere and you are selling something to people, right? Here I'm giving you an inkling, right? Ride with it. Put money behind it. With us now today, right? You go to your peers, you say to them, hey, here's my sweater, right? I've designed it, I've created it myself, right? And it's gonna cost 5,000, right? It's too expensive because they're looking at you as the guy they sit with every day. How can you charge us so much for a sweater, right? But when it's YSL, it's fine. I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna wear it with pride, right? So why can't I? Because YSL started somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And whoever bought into that idea of YSL and how they're actually going to inflate the price and they're going to make it seem like a very expensive garment that no one can acquire, the advertisement behind it and all of that, that's exactly what you're doing, right? We are starting there, we are doing exactly their way, but people are understanding it differently. You know why? It's because of socialism.
Yes, and another thing is
Socialism.
there's 2
It's a
points to
problem.
that, right?
It makes us look at things differently because now then when I go to Billionaires, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't sell my products to you. I'm gonna go to Billionaires and I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, here's my idea, right? And I'm gonna put some value. Look at Beats by Dre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beats by Dre, very expensive. But he's never ventured into that before, prior that.
So
But
so
who put the value there?
yeah. So the
So-
other thing you must also understand is, also these guys have that kind of maybe the finances to also use celebrities, right? Marketing and advertising to increase their value. You
The
get what I'm
best,
saying?
yeah, they use the best.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a Gucci simple T-shirt that is just written Gucci. The
Yeah.
T-shirt is literally. I'm sure I can get a proper, I don't know, Nike quality shirt
Yeah.
that is way less than, in terms of monetary value.
Probably 10 times less.
Correct.
Yeah.
Than Gucci, but Gucci because it's written Gucci
Yeah.
and is
The brand
quality,
holds
you get what I'm
the
saying?
value, and I agree with Brian 100%.
What
There's
did
just
Kanye
2
say
points
about-
to this thing, right? The one is that what you were saying now, that tick, the Nike tick or the Gucci type of label, that's what carries the weight.
Correct.
But there are instances and those things we need to be mindful of. So sometimes people would just design something and be like, I'm going to charge equivalent to Louis Vuitton or Dior because people are paying these the prices for these garments, so they should support me as a local business. But you also need to ask yourself, what heritage do you hold and what materials are you making use of? Because there are instances where people would use your cashmere, the raw silk, and there's a lot of complexity to it. Then you have hand-stitched garments. All those things add value
And
to
al-
the actual garment.
And also the other thing, are you part of the value chain? Are
Yeah,
you
the
part-
ecosystem.
the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Because don't think your Gucci or Louis Vuitton and all those people don't work together. Behind closed doors, you might find out that actually these people they work together
know.
and they use certain industries like music, right? Your hip hop guys
Yes.
to be like, guys, this is
Push
the
the
ecosystem.
agenda.
Push these brands for us.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Push these brands, and it's not only one, but it's a
coming.
group of brands.
I'm coming.
So if you create your own brand, right, and maybe people love it, and only a small group of people, and we can see this is a good brand, right? But there's no value. No one is gonna pay 5,000.
Yeah.
But if you get actually a meeting, or if you get that chance to be part of the ecosystem, trust me, that brand will actually be worth that much.
Listen to this.
Okay, go for it.
There's this one. I think I saw something on Netflix. I was watching this program about clothing and hip hop. I'll give you the name. I can't recall the name anyway. But anyway, back in the 80s and the 90s, right? So there was this cat. He actually designed clothes for these guys, like the hip hop guys, because they couldn't afford it, right? And it was knockoffs.
Sorry.
Something
They
like
couldn't afford
they couldn't
the-
afford like your expensive brands,
like your Louis, your
Like your
Gucci's
Louis,
and
your
all those
Gucci's
things.
and
So was it the
Versace's,
time
yeah.
of your Fubu? You know, when we used to have Fubu.
It
your
must have been
Shanjan,
it
during
must have
those
been
times.
it must have been that times as well, and prior to that.
Okay.
So anyway, he started designing like these, on the music videos you would see like someone wearing Gucci all like just
Top to toe.
like just something like that. So basically he was selling it like it was knockoffs, like, and the rap industry was actually growing, and he was making his money like with the artist.
Is
You
it
know-
Dapper Dan?
I think it's Dapper Dan.
Or another
I
person
think
that's
maybe
also
talking
I
about-
think
don't
I
know
think it
Alexander
is
Wang.
Where is
Dapper
Dapper
Dan.
You
Dan?
guys know Alexander Wang?
Yeah, I know him.
Might
And
be
then
Dapper Dan, I
anyway,
don't know.
so
Right.
what
Yeah.
so what happened with this guy is he was killing the industry. Like not
Dapper
killing the
Dan.
Which-
industry,
which
but
one?
he was making money.
It's
And
Dapper
just
Dan.
with,
Oh,
with
killing it
his
like-
people,
like thriving in
yeah,
it.
thriving.
Oh,
He was
okay.
just
Yeah.
like in the hip hop community, R&B and everything, like because these cats they were just coming up. And then eventually, I think there was a case against him or something, legal action against him. And they sorted it out. Eventually, he got I think I don't know what is he now at Gucci or Louis Vuitton or whatever, but he has like
Partnership. And,
Partnership
yeah, it's Dependent.
in that. Yeah,
It's from New York. I know.
He's
I know
from
the
New
story.
York,
Yeah.
So I mean, like, look, these products, Gucci and other products, they're expensive and so forth. But what about the people out there?
What
You
about the
understand?
people?
No, listen. What about the people? And look at like, if we look at hip hop, we speak about hip hop, the clothing, we speak about the alcohol,
The chain.
the chains,
It's,
and more
yeah.
especially like with alcohol, you couldn't alcohol didn't want to be associated with hip hop. Alcohol brands, there's certain brands that didn't want to be associated with hip hop until
They shifted the paradigm.
they shifted it because they saw like, here's
So
the money.
They're making money from the
So
industry.
I'm actually glad that you boys are riding high. You're on a private jet, right? Because you see now this is about to get serious.
Oh, so we were not serious all this time.
No, I'm going back.
Bring it
KG, when
back.
you came here, you went on this long intro where you were explaining yourself, and what you're bringing to the table. And yeah, I mean, so far we've enjoyed it. I wanna just to my recollection, I wanna bring something, right?
Bring it, bro. Bring it.
You made mention of money, the market, right? And
Power, ways, the governments and all that. That
And
speaks of power.
the
Yeah.
economy, where
yeah.
we are, right, as a globe. Now, it landed me somewhere, right? Which is, people don't understand the times we're in. If you don't understand the times we're in, you'll be buying in a market that is selling, right? And selling in a market that is buying, right? Now, going back to you, because I want to put this into perspective now.
Put it into perspective now, bro.
Going back to you, right? You made mention of, and I think there was a word thrown around, ecosystem, yeah, right?
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time, and I say, you cannot make music the same way the people in the 90s did, right? Music now has changed, right? It's all about a certain narrative. If we are singing or we are rapping about Gucci, everyone is rapping about Gucci. If we are singing and rapping about Christian Dior, everyone is singing and rapping about Christian Dior. Tell me if you haven't seen that common occurrence in the hip hop scene happening just at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
No,
seen
you're
that.
right.
So what that actually means is this is the time for this. We are pushing this now. When you come, you drop whatever music, it doesn't matter how good it is. That's not what the consumer is consuming right now. Right now we are consuming this. Hence, when people actually fail, right? They say, why is the other person thriving and I'm failing, but we're doing the exact same thing, right? Because he understands the times we're in,
Yeah.
right? And because of that, he's able to buy in a buyer's market and sell in a seller's market and not do the contrast.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying, boys?
We get what you're saying.
the-
But sometimes, like, it's to be the sore thumb. Sometimes is a good thing because when you stand out, you actually create that attention from just being
Yeah.
different without it being intentional. Because sometimes going with the trend may actually constitute you to be a sheep, and a lot of people are not looking for sheep. They're
it's-
looking
it's
for
influence,
wolves.
man. It's influence, and this guy's in the music industry and the movie industry,
Yeah.
Hollywood, and
Yeah.
all those people, especially Hollywood. Whatever comes from Hollywood controls the entire world.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Those guys have influence. And our kids, and well, I don't have a kid, but someone is gonna watch it. Will our kids? We have a kid. Then you hide it somewhere.
Are we getting any of those?
Are you
In
my
future,
daddy?
in future, but kids nowadays they wanna live. TikTok. I was watching this podcast, right? Brilliant Idiots by Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne. So
Shout out
there was
to
a
Andrew
quote there.
and
They
Shala.
Yeah.
Don't like Shala.
And they said, TikTok is OnlyFans for kids. I'm gonna repeat it. You know the app called OnlyFans, right?
No,
Don't you know OnlyFans?
I know.
Yes,
OnlyFans.
yes,
Yeah, where
I've
you
seen
pay
That's
that.
where
them.
that's where people. I think Katie. I forgot her name. Damn. She made about 3 million or 1 million.
Yeah, so you pay, you go there, and some like is they show is like porn, and they
Yeah,
show themselves like
their
their
bodies.
bodies and all.
If you wanna
those things. Then
see
people-
Lisa Ray, she's also
you
on.
go there and
Who's
whatever,
Lisa Ray?
and people
you
make
know
a lot of
Lisa
money
Ray?
from those things.
My goodness.
They make, and this model, this ladies who
Oh,
do
Tiana
modeling
Taylor.
and
No, Tiana Taylor is not.
influencers, they go there, and I think
Yeah.
you pay, I don't know, $10 per month.
All right.
Then you view their content and all those kind of nonsense they're doing.
Have
there,
you viewed
right?
any lady there?
No. I'm not a guy who do those things.
Okay.
And now they're saying actually TikTok now is OnlyFans for kids.
Mm.
It's just so
Oh.
crazy that TikTok is taking over, and now literally now kids, and not only kids, you also have grown-ups there
Yeah.
who watch videos and
Yeah,
do whatever
true.
on OnlyFans. They're so addicted
To
Right?
TikTok.
to TikTok.
Mm.
And the music industry and the movie industry, they're actually using TikTok and Instagram to try and push a narrative. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is, some might be a certain might be maybe certain products, right? Certain products, and be like, yo, this season now we're pushing Christian Dior.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? And they work together with labels, together with these big corporates,
Yeah.
to push this and try and actually suck money, money, time,
'Cause
and
you
all
see-
those things from
Yeah,
people.
because you see, with the market change, like you were saying as well, right, and the times being different. Back in the days, you used to have your newspapers, your billboards, your adverts in between TV shows and all that stuff to advertise your brand or your your products and services. These days, it's a different trajectory altogether. Like you mentioned, your Instagrams, your TikToks, your
YouTube,
YouTubes, and all
baby,
that stuff.
correct,
In between
correct.
your this video, when it plays on YouTube, there'll be an advert
Yeah,
about
yeah,
something,
yeah.
probably about making billions. There will be those adverts to market these products and services. One of the reasons why Beats by Dre, like I'm glad you mentioned it earlier, is also so expensive is because of that marketing strategy. So yes, we know that they have premium materials that they use to actually make the actual headphones. I think it's like aluminium and like all those other things. But a lot of people feel that it's rivaled
Yeah.
by other brands with maybe less premium material than that, but yet it's like 10 times the value of it. Why is that the case?
Yeah, so I think it will be more in terms of marketing strategy that you are using. And one thing that Apple actually mastered is marketing. Their marketing strategy is so on point, where literally everyone wants to own an Apple product. You get what I'm saying? Oh yes, so I was talking about Apple and the influence and the marketing strategy that they have, and I think this product itself, I'm not selling Apple. You might think maybe this guy is sponsored by Apple.
I was
We are
about
not
to ask.
sponsored- We are not sponsored by Apple. But if you want to sponsor us, please reach out. So
shout
yeah,
out to
it's
Apple.
I revoke my shout out.
So yeah, as you were saying, Maurice. So it's all about strategy, marketing strategy that they have in place, and if you have someone who's a visionary behind the product, it also adds value, and into that product, right? Steve Jobs, that guy was just extraordinary. The way that he was thinking, his designs, and the way the way he was carrying himself, the way he believed in his vision, in his dream, right? To him, I don't think it was all about exploiting people and making his products so expensive. He earned that right. And yes, there's some Apple products you just like, they're just so expensive.
Yeah.
But I think they earned that right because they're just visionaries, man, behind this product itself. I don't know. What do you think?
Maurice, can I give? I know you're banning. Before you come in, right? I just want to interject.
Please interject then.
I'm glad you mentioned visionaries, right?
Yeah.
There was a time where Elon, right, and his Tesla, were like, the Wall Street giants were like heavily selling it, right? And it was
short
plummeting
selling it,
for the sole purpose of actually like taking him
Killing
out,
it, yes,
right, in the business. But people stayed for the vision that was sold to them, right? So like sometimes, like even when the odds are against you, like you can still prevail as long as you've got a solid base, and we can buy into your market, or we can buy into your idea, into your mind frame, right? So again, going back to that innovation that we spoke about, that this huge dependence on government is slowing us down, right? Because there is no one billionaire that I know out there that hasn't encountered challenges. If you think, people, the way that they don't understand, people think billionaires can't be broke. A billionaire can be broke.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes.
But you still have vociferous people on social media who think that these guys that are flashing things, they are rich. They are, for sure, you can call them whatever, but just know that even a billionaire gets broke, right? So you can go ahead and ask. So the reason why I made mention of the billionaires getting broke is because of those challenges. People think just because you have these things, you don't have challenges. So when you are a billionaire, you've acquired your wealth, and someone says, why don't these billionaires actually feed us all in the world? They combine together and they feed us. Do you think they actually have that money, that hard cash? They have credit cards just like us.
And I wanted to say,
and they have collateral against those credits.
Billionaires use debt to make more
Exactly.
money. So people think when someone is a billionaire, they have all the money in the world. No, they do not.
They do not.
They just use debt against what they have.
Exactly.
So,
Also, collateral, understanding what you have and the value behind it. Then you go, right?
And get more.
And get more.
And that's also why I added that point earlier about the sore thumb. Comes back to what you're saying about the visionary. Because at the time that some of these guys were developing their brands or developing their ideas and stuff like that, they may not have fallen in line with what the market or what the global world was looking for. But their vision is what sold their brand,
Yes.
So even if you are going against it, sometimes that is good, sometimes it is the best way to do it. Not giving advice here, but just working from history, seeing that those things they mean value. What I wanted to speak about is Apple, dude. Like, I agree, right, that there's been a lot of interesting development and ideas that has come from your Steve Jobs and team. What I don't agree with is that that ecosystem, dude, and the way you feel like it's kind of a trap and you boxed into this web, and you have to obey that with these particular laws and regulations, and you have to buy everything within the Apple range. Yes, it's good for making money for them, right? But it's like, it's so to some extent like so controlling.
So that's the whole point. That's why they are now so successful, because they created their own ecosystem. And they control everything within their ecosystem.
So
and
that is what
players,
what is that?
Other players.
What is that?
Now,
isn't that the socialism that we've been speaking about?
No, it's it's not socialism. But it's not socialism because you also have the right to pick. It's not like only Apple is existing in the whole world. We also have other products that is competing against them, right? But they're just saying, okay, I created this product to be part of my ecosystem. This is what you must do. You get what I'm saying? So that doesn't mean that maybe it's socialism or no. They just come up with a way to say that this is
do
our
everything and
ecosystem.
we'll control everything.
This is our ecosystem. This is our target market, right? So if you have a company where they say our market is not low end, it's only high end market, you can't say socialism. That is my strategy. I only target people with money. It's like Lamborghini, your Ferraris. They're saying no. When we create a car, it's for high end, right? The rest, if you are low end, go and buy your Toyota. No one is gonna stop you. We still have options. So socialism
Yes.
is when everyone have to use Apple. That is socialism.
No, it's the socialism
And controlling.
is when you
You know?
have your MacBook, then you have your iPhone, and then you have your iCar, your this. Everything has to be I.
No, but that is a marketing strategy. That is the
Maurice,
ecosystem they create.
yes, Maurice,
You
think of
know?
it this way, right? Think of it this way. When you build, let's take music for instance, right? These guys, what they will do is the record label, right? They will sign you as an artist, right? You are the investment. Everyone is putting money on you. But what they do is they make sure that the money doesn't leave the ecosystem. It circulates around the ecosystem, right? So now as a Maurice, I just signed you on a $5 million deal, right? And you are smiling because you've never experienced that much wealth in your life. And I say to you, oh, by the way, like I need to put a chain on you, right? So that I'm now taking from that 5 million that I just gave you, I just put in your pocket. I'm saying you can actually get good customized chains from that guy, right? And that guy has good customized chains. Everyone is buying from that guy, right? And then from that guy, we say, oh, you know what? We need to put you on some drip. Let's go to Louis Vuitton. Let's go to, we put you on some drip, right? That's your money. That's your 5 million there. We are spending it there, right? And when we want to do a music video, oh, we know director X. Let's call director X, right? That's the ecosystem,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes even the features that you get, we even call, oh, we actually thought you should do a song with this person. That's how people get rebranded. You sometimes have a choice, but sometimes you don't, because what they tell you is, oh, well, yeah, you could do a song with that
see?
guy.
That
but
sometimes you don't is what I'm
no,
talking
sometimes
about.
you don't because
the
of
one.
where you are. Like the situation you find yourself in. It's like, bro, like again, like this is maybe a bad example. It's like when you when you are here in the north, right? Certain shops are not there that you are used to, maybe in the CBD, right? So in order for you to access those shops, these are the shops that are here now. In order, you need to go to CBD Central in order for you to have some sort of access to those shops. So what are you gonna say? Are you gonna start now complaining to those guys that why aren't you in that ecosystem, the other side? They don't
Yeah.
fit that bill.
Yeah, and I won't blame a company for creating their own ecosystem.
Exactly.
Right? And
Find your circle as well and fit into that ecosystem.
if it's there's so many other products that are actually alternatives from Apple, right? There's other cell phones, there's other laptops, there's other this and that, right? And what I actually like about MacBooks is that thank God there's an alternative for Windows. Because Windows is something that is so whack and it's like I don't understand. I don't know. I just have
This is not an advertorial for Apple.
no, I understand. Which comes to my point where, guys, I want to ask you guys a question. Do you think Bill Gates is a visionary?
I have my reservations about Mr. Gates.
Because if I tell you, I don't think that guy is a visionary. After he created, and he didn't really actually created Microsoft, he actually worked together. I think he bought a piece of code from IBM, and there's a lot of history about that, right? But anyway, let's give him that. He created Microsoft, that's fine.
Didn't you write the code for DOS?
No, after that, what did this guy actually create? Okay, let's say he created Microsoft, right? That's fine. What did Bill Gates create after creating Microsoft?
But then the same question can be asked about Steve Jobs. Because Steve Jobs was not working alone, was he? All the ideas that came for the development of the iPhone, the Mac, and all those type of things.
The visionary. Remember when he had the vision, then you call a team to actually put it into existence. Right? Because you can't do it alone. But who has a vision? Steve Jobs. Who had a vision to be like, you know what, this is what I want to do in Amazon, was Jeff Bezos. Right? He had the vision, but he called people. Because you can't do it alone, right?
Yeah.
You call people who have the muscle and be like, help me create
Yeah.
this product. But the vision is from who? Jeff Bezos. I don't know. Maybe you guys might think I hate Bill Gates, but I don't
We
think
do
that guy is a
you-
visionary.
You think you hate him?
But why would you
I
say
don't
that?
know.
Seems
Because
like
look
you've
how
got
long
some
has he
personal vendetta
look
here
how
against
long has he
Gates.
also how long has it as Bill Gates lasted, like his products as well? So why wouldn't you say that you don't think that he's a visionary? Because I mean, like in terms of longevity, he's been there.
Bill
The
Gates-
products has
No.
been there, and
Bill Gates only created one product. Then after that, he started buying other companies.
but even though he created one product, it was his vision.
No,
It was a vision. Maybe
Yeah.
it might not have been like everything else, like let's say
Might not have
a
been
cell phone or
continuous.
whatever continuous, but that was his vision. That it's different for it's like in terms of people, like it's different.
no. I understand where you're coming from. Ne?
Maybe
And
his dynamic shifted as soon as he.
Yeah.
Maybe-
It's the same.
maybe if you-
It's the same. It's the same. Like it's the same like hip hop or music.
Mm.
We always touch on this, pop or hip hop artists, right? And we've seen that before, or we see it today. The hip hop artist will start off with hip hop, right, and then he becomes a brand, and then he adds on
He
to his
ventures
brand.
into something else.
You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? He adds on to his brand. So his vision was obviously to be number one, hip hop or whatever, right? And now he becomes a brand. So this brand makes him, becomes a billionaire. And we know,
Yeah.
Kanye
we
West.
know who we're speaking about,
Mm.
He becomes a billionaire. So that's his,
Aim and objective.
okay, that was his aim or his goal, right? To be a billionaire, right? However, you'll find other artists, right, that is just as successful as the next artist, right? However, they don't have that vision. They don't have that in them to say, I would like to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is just basically, I would like to do music. And you'll find other artists that actually bows out from the industry. You understand? And pursues business. Right? Although, yes, he's still seen as a hip hop artist, right? But he's also seen as a business.
A businessman, or yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, not to say necessarily to add to that. Maybe you're saying not to say that they're not interested in becoming a billionaire, but they just do not want to venture into other things. They just decide to remain as an artist, as a musician, so to speak.
Exactly.
Because the music could
could
make
be.
them a billionaire.
Kanye once said, "There is no billionaire out of music."
But
Yeah.
it's not
I've never-
impossible.
I've
billionaire.
never heard
Even
that.
right now, there's
Yeah.
no billionaire.
I've
of
never
music.
heard that because
Like
in order for
purely
you to
from
be-
music.
if
Yeah.
in order for you to be a billionaire, you need to have other things going
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
for you.
exactly.
You can't do
Right.
it purely
So
from
you
music.
still can't.
And Kanye also said, what did he say
What-
about Lauryn Hill? I wish Lauryn Hill's heart was
still
still,
rhyming.
her heart was still in rhyming,
Yeah.
On your point about Kant, I think it was Napoleon. He gave a very interesting observation.
What was the observation?
He said Kant is a word that belongs in a dictionary of fools. So before Jeff Bezos had a bookstore online that
Yeah.
sold everything
Are you
else
calling me a
online,
fool?
there was no Amazon that existed.
Wait, so are you
if
calling
had
me a
said
fool?
that it can't happen that someone was selling books online or that does this, then
Yeah.
it would have never segued into what it is now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we're saying that it is impossible for a person to become a billionaire in music, just wait the space. I've been practicing my voice. Just give me a couple of months.
You'll be the first.
You know this.
Yeah, you'll be the first.
You know this. Hey,
Yeah.
let me not.
Oh,
Actually,
don't you want
I
to give
think
us a
Henry
taste
Ford-
of?
Henry Ford says, "He who says he can and he who says he can't are both telling the truth."
Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah.
you embody whatever.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
say.
so
Yeah.
I'm supporting you. So you wanna
Thank
be
you,
that
sir.
artist? You're gonna be the first artist that's a billionaire.
That's the one. I just, I'm thinking, shouldn't I share
I
some?
must sign you, son.
Yeah.
No, you
I'ma
wanna get
sign
rich
you.
of my back work, my hard work, dude.
All right, guys. Do you all have anything else?
Yeah,
It's been great.
I'm hungry actually, guys. You asked me.
KJ has been feeding you. What
I
are you
think-
talking about?
Hey, I've been giving you keys all
this
the
guy,
time.
he's being
It's not
Could
fed.
have
enough,
said I'm
bro.
This
full
guy
right
didn't
now.
tell
Not
us how he
enough,
made his
bro.
money, though. He
Yeah,
said he made a
exactly.
ludicrous sum of
Yeah.
money.
Oh, you wanna
Yeah.
know how many? Well, if I tell you, I have to kill you. But
No, but obviously you have to
But-
tell us because
No,
No.
KG, let's put it this way, right? Because we don't want to put your business out there. Like, what would you
Yeah.
tell the people out there that are actually under this distorted
yeah,
imagination
yeah,
or
yeah.
view that
Mm.
I can't make money when other people are making money because it's pandemic, so it means that it's bad times for everyone.
Yeah.
But in actual truth, it's not.
Yeah.
For others, it's a field day. They're having fun, you know. It's Christmas Day. But for others, you know, we have to
It's a
obviously
hard
sympathize.
knock life.
And it's not well. It's not going so well. So for you, what would be your advice to those people?
Yeah, so what I can say is the first thing is make sure you actually relook at your budget and
Yeah.
and save money that you can actually can afford to save, right? Because some people will be like save, but they can't live their lives and actually afford necessities, right?
Valid point.
So save, and at the same time also invest in assets that can actually survive any kind of crash or any kind of inflation,
Such as?
right? So such as you can go into real estate. That's one of them, right? The other thing is commodities. That's another, right? Commodities, talking about your gold, your silver, etc. And if you believe in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, it's up to you. Go for it. But it's a dirty game. You need to know what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? And I'll bring in the stock market. But the thing with the stock market is when the crash is coming, it's going to affect the stock market. That's one thing you must know. Stock market, you must know when to get out and when to get in, when to buy low and when to sell high,
yeah,
right? That's the tricky part about the stock market. So that's what I will say, start looking at those kind of investments, right? And last but not least, invest in yourself. You get what I'm saying? Invest in yourself. And I think if you invest in yourself, you won't go wrong there.
I'll take that. I'll take that last part, KG. It's very important. I always say health is wealth to people because you could lump your money in the market, you could put it anywhere, you could buy bonds, you could put it in real estate. But if you're not investing in your health, in your livelihood, it's ultimately all of that work that you've actually put in is going to go to waste. Well, it's not going to go to waste. I mean, someone is going to inherit it. And so lots of
Fruitful.
interesting things, fruitful things that you said there. But I also just want to put a caveat there that there is no bulletproof investment out there.
Yes.
So
yes,
it's
yes.
important to accept the risk. Whatever investment that you're putting, accept the risk and own it. That's what I'm
Correct.
willing to lose, right?
Correct.
And let the investment play itself out and you'll be fine. So manage your expectations, because then people tend to think, oh yeah, like if I put my money there, it's going to, change my life overnight. No, sometimes it's a process. Understand the process. So when you say that invest in yourself, that means that you have to also go through the education of understanding the things that
Education.
you invest in and not just putting money in there. And education goes a long way. So yeah, thank you for that, KG. Maurice,
Yeah, no.
any last words?
The last words is just to thank you guys for an amazing show, amazing episode here. KG, I feel like there's a lot of points we have maybe not touched.
Yeah.
And I know
There's
you're
a lot. There's
I
a
know
lot.
you're a guy that's all about your money. You're about to go make more billions now.
Yeah,
So we'll have to
yeah.
excuse you for now, but we definitely would like to see you back on the show again.
Nah,
We thank you
KG
for
is
joining the
coming.
BMX
Yeah.
team.
Welcome to the family.
Part of the BMX family. We see Golfy has joined us there as well from nowhere. I don't know, is it Billionaire
good.
Golf Ball, but Golfy has joined
I
us.
mean, like this table belongs to the riches, man. We are rich in this table.
Yeah.
Blessings, blessings. Thank you so much, KG. Everyone, thank you so much, guys.
Thanks,
The
guys.
BMXers,
It's a wrap.
we
Thank you.
appreciate you guys. Catch you guys on the next episode.
We out.
Cheers.